WriterMaven is back with another one, and this time I'm pulling out big receipts. We gotta talk about Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan. Can they, and I mean could they, be the next Paul Heyman guy and Paul Heyman girl? Crazy, right? Let's get into it. So this past Monday Night Raw, Dominik Mysterio, the little chaos agent himself, was up to his usual no good. Finn Balor had a shot at qualifying for Money in the Bank, and he's in there with Seth Rollins, and what does Daddy Dom do? Oh, just accidentally on purpose slides a steel chair in the ring, gives Seth the signal, and boom, Finn's dreams are dashed. And while I was cackling, absolutely losing my mind at the sheer audacity of it all, it hit me. It reminded me of this little nugget, this observation me and my buddy, the one and only Hope and Sanity, clocked way back at the beginning of the year. Cast your minds back to the January 3rd edition of SmackDown. We get this backstage shot of Paul Heyman doing his usual wise man strut on his way to the ring. Standard stuff, right? Wrong. Keep this. He walks directly in front of the WrestleMania 41 production truck. And who's plastered all over that truck? Liv Morgan on one side and Dominik Mysterio on the other. The camera then centers Paul right smack in the middle with Dom and Liv practically on his shoulders. And then, as Heyman shuffles off, the camera lingers, and I mean it takes a freaking coffee break, on that WrestleMania truck with Dom and Liv still large and in charge. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a truck. Nah, you just don't get it. This is the WWE. Every shot, every glance, every pixel is planned, especially when the wise man is involved. Think about the effort. Dom and Liv are on opposite ends of this massive production truck. The camera crew had to be directed to get all three in that frame. It would have been a million times easier to just get a tight shot on Paul or just Dom or just Liv, but no, they had to give us the trifecta. And that closing shot, where they still focused on Dom and Liv after Paul walked off, they could have just shown the WrestleMania logo. Easy peasy. But no, they made sure we got another good look at Dom and Liv together. It lingers. So why is this such a big fucking deal? Back then, me and Hope and Sanity were talking. We thought, okay, big things for Dom and Liv at Mania for sure. And let's be real, production trucks have been the Forrest Gump of the whole Liv and Dom storyline, haven't they? They've been dropping clues, sometimes subtle, sometimes like an anvil to the head. Remember Liv, bold as brass, taunting Rhea Ripley? Where was she? Right in front of Rhea's production truck. Rap Daddy Adam Pearce announcing Liv versus Becky in a steel cage thanks to Dom meddling? Boom, right in front of Dom's own production truck. After Liv planted that infamous smooch on Dom post Becky win, who did she pose in front of for her victory selfie? Dom's production truck. Liv going full scorched earth, burning all of Judgment Day's crap after Dom's I hate you speech? You guessed it, Dom's truck. Dom debuting his sweet lowrider, where did he cruise by? His production truck. Even Raquel, before her bad blood return, where was she spotted? On a production truck. The production trucks are practically a supporting character in this whole Dom Liv storyline. So seeing that Heyman Dom Liv truck shot, we started thinking bigger. What if this wasn't just about WrestleMania? What if this was about Paul Heyman himself? And look, it wasn't a total leap. We suspected Paul wouldn't be tied to Roman Reigns forever, right? The wise man always needs a new project, a new guy, or a new girl. And Paul has gone on record praising Dominik Mysterio. The breadcrumbs are there. Now, okay, the theory kinda cooled off after WrestleMania. Paul clearly threw in with Seth freaking Rollins. So it seemed that was that. Until this past Monday. Dom sliding that chair, giving Seth the signal, and suddenly me and Hope and Sanity are blowing up each other's DMs. Could this be a long-term play? The slow burn to end all slow burns? Imagine this. Liv and Dom finally implode Judgment Day, leave it in absolute ruins. Finn, JD, Carlito, whoever else, toast. Then they pivot. They align with Paul Heyman and, by extension, Seth Rollins' new whatever they're calling his crew. Seth working with former ops? He just got Bronson Reed in his corner. And let's not forget, who was Dom's first major feud? The Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. Or what if Dom and Liv don't leave Judgment Day? What if they just hijack it, oust Finn, give him the boot, and reform it under the wise counsel of Paul Heyman? Maybe even with a loose alliance to Seth. The mind boggles. There are a million ways this could go, but that one single camera shot from January, that lingering look at Heyman flanked by Dom and Liv, it may have given us the whole damn game. And let's be honest, Dom and Liv hooking up with Paul Heyman, that sends them into the stratosphere. We're talking main events, title reigns, the whole 9 yards. Look, I'm not saying it's a lock, but the receipts, they're piling up. That WrestleMania 41 truck shot is looking less like a coincidence and more like a damn prophecy. What do you think? Am I reading too much into truck placements? Or are Dom and Liv about to become the new chosen ones of the wise man? Let me know in the comments. I'll be back for more, but for now, I'm just saying.